don't know if I'm getting fat or what, but I ripped not one, but like 2 or 3 pairs of pants in the last day at work, Jay.
How many?
3 pairs of pants.
Wow.
In like the past week. Literally, I'm at work, I'm bending over, and I hear rip, rip. And it didn't happen once, it didn't happen twice, but it happened like 3 times. So I had to go out and spend all this money on pants.
What you been eating?
Nothing. I haven't gained any weight, I don't feel like.
That's what I'm saying. I've known you for years. You never gained a pound.
I never gained any weight.
An ounce.
3 times now.
Maybe it's just how
in the last week.
Maybe it's just how you're sitting, how you're standing.
How I'm sitting and standing, you think?
I'm
asking the viewing audience out there, as you know, we are in audio and we are also in video. Am I getting fat? Am I putting on the pounds? I want to know because I need to take care of this if it's a situation. You know, I'm known for my figure, my sexy body, and the show just wouldn't be the same. Yeah, without,
you have the body of what I was when I was 13.
See, I got a face.
I wish I still looked like that.
I've got a face for radio, so I don't know how to handle this. Am I getting fat? Are things okay? And what really sucks is they were like the most comfortable pairs of jeans. What do you call them, pairs of jeans? Do you call them pairs of jeans, or do you call them a pair of jeans?
I just call them a pair.
Pair? Okay, everybody I know calls them pairs of jeans. I don't know why.
Yeah,
but that doesn't make any sense because that would be multiple pairs of jeans.
Yeah,
that would
be pluralize something that's already plural.
But multiple pairs of jeans, well, that would institute multiple upon a multiple, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's like saying I have 2 pairs of scissors.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And I hate the people that say skizzers. If you say skizzers, you're wrong.
Yeah, I'll slap you if you say that.
This is River Talk. This is Saturday. It's 10 a.m. I'm Brian Crawford. I'm here with Jay Cooper.
What's up,
You're
bitches?
listening to the River's Edge Radio Network, home, Pittsburgh's voice and home of local music. We have the Cheerly Men. They will be with us as well today. We're going to talk about the show that they have coming up tonight, actually, right across the courtyard at the Funhouse at Mr. Small's. We're broadcasting from Mr. Small's Theater. Again, this is the River's Edge Radio Network. And the big news today is it's still the big news, I think, is the editorial that came out from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. We haven't had a chance to talk about that at all. But basically, they came out with an article on Martin Luther King Day that was defending Trump in some of the comments he's made recently, referring to different places as a shithole. And the union has come out with their own letter, and it was rejected by the Post-Gazette initially as far as an opposition letter. The letter says it goes to the editor, the Newspaper Guild of Pittsburgh, the union representing 150 reporters, photographers, copy editors, artists, and other editorial employees at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, is collectively appalled and crestfallen by the repugnant editorial Reason and Racism. As a result, of course, the Guild does not weigh in on editorial positions, but this piece is so extraordinary in its mindless, sociopathic embrace of racism, racist values, and outright bigotry espoused by the country's president that we would be morally, journalistically, and humanly remiss not to speak out against it. So they really, really go after the editorial board of the Post-Gazette in this letter that they wrote themselves. And I thought it was kind of sheepish of the Post-Gazette to not post this article.
Yeah.
And that, I thought, was really the most stunning thing, is the fact that they didn't post this letter, this post-op, to the Post-Gazette. They tried to bury the story, which didn't work, because even though they're the only paper in town, there's lots of blogs and lots of online organizations. And with the invent of social media, which it's kind of funny because it's in many ways undercut their business and taken a lot away from their business.
Yeah.
At the same time, that allowed the union to have another voice without another paper in town to get this letter out there, because as soon as it didn't appear in the Post-Gazette, they just went right on Facebook and posted it, on Twitter and posted it, and then the employees of the Post-Gazette shared that opposition letter that was written by the union. So the letter continues. It says, this editorial is a blight on the 231 years of service the Post-Gazette has provided to its readers over its long life. It railed against racism and supported civil rights and justice for all. given this history, the shameful and unconscionable editorial that ran on Martin Luther King Jr. Day of all days is an abomination that cannot go without condemnation from journalists committed to fairness, accuracy, and decency. To be clear, no member of the Newspaper Guild had anything to do with that editorial, and we stand together in solidarity against the bigotry, hatred, and divisiveness it engenders. Our hope is that, like us, readers of the Post-Gazette will decry this lapse in promoting common decency, equal opportunity, and justice across our great land and world. This editorial and its sentiments solely represent the opinions of the Block family, owners of the Post-Gazette, and their loyal employees who use our talents to fight against this editorial and what it stands for. Okay. So that was the whole letter. Now, the owners have come out and voiced their objection to the letter as well. So it seems this one editor is really, everyone's kind of going against what the editorial board decided to publish. And I guess I always come into a weird...
I was just thinking, I was wondering if they was going to talk about what was the thing that went on about how Trump didn't participate as far as civil work on Martin Luther King Day, because they were talking about that on the news. They were saying like he was the first president in like 20 some years to not participate.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it started in like 95. Like presidents got involved in doing stuff on Martin Luther King Day. I believe it started with Clinton, and then it went on with Bush, and then Obama, and then now Trump. He didn't do anything on Martin Luther King Day. He was seen golfing. I
did hear that. Yeah, that was funny. There was a comedian that made a comment about that. But yeah, I mean,
to each his own. It's not necessarily. It's more tradition than it is obligation, I guess. So
I look at this article and I find it. What I found the most appalling was that the editorial board didn't initially. They didn't post this letter as a counterbalance, because I don't want to just go after the editorial. I'll go after the editorial board and saying that I don't agree with their views, but I have always been one of those people that, you don't hire someone to give their opinion and then try to fire them for giving their opinion. Right. What's the point of hiring them if that's the case? But I think it would have been responsible for them to then show the other side of the opinion and what the union is saying. And that's one thing, like the BBC, for example, they recently came under this big thing with their main China editor for the BBC World Service, who resigned from her position because she wasn't getting the same pay as what the men were in similar positions in other countries around the world. So the BBC went right out on the news, and that was like one of the top stories for the day was how BBC employees are standing in solidarity with this woman who stepped down. And it was fair reporting. I can't fault the BBC for reporting that.
She should fairly get paid the same as everyone else.
Sure.
It seems like that's like the movement now. Have you noticed that? It seems like to be the movement as far as in politics, as far as in entertainment.
Well, to be fair, the BBC refuted her statements, but I just thought the way that they reported it was fair. And they didn't shy away from the issue. They didn't choose not to talk about it because it involved the BBC and made the BBC look bad.
Right.
They did talk about it. And I wish the Post-Gazette would have stood up to that same level. Now, they have thusly published other letters that denounce the editorial. Okay. But I felt that they should have posted that right away. Instead, the one from the union, instead of trying to what it seems like bury the issue and avoid the controversy.
Yeah, it's like they just want to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you can't quiet stuff like that.
No, I was disappointed in that. So I was really disappointed. I wish I would have seen a better response from them. So you don't think I'm getting fat?
I don't see it.
I got these new jeans on. Look at this. I went out to the store. I got brand new jeans. It was great because everything's on sale.
Same size?
Yeah, the same size, and they fit. They're really. What's great is I put these on today. They're extremely comfortable because I was worried about that because the two jeans that ripped, two of the pairs, they were like the most comfortable jeans. I've worn them for years. Extremely comfortable. They were. I don't know, something about the feel of the jean. They were really, really comfortable. So I go out the other day, and it's only January, but for some reason, every store is preparing for summer, I guess, or preparing for spring. So everything's on clearance. at these insane deals.
It's probably last year's shit, and they're just selling it, getting it out of the way. So
Maybe,
that way, when
I don't
the new
know.
stuff come out, then they can jack the prices.
When I went
back
to
up again.
Sears, I was super disappointed because they're going out of business.
I was about to say,
Ross
Sears
Park.
is still around? Shit.
Well, there's a few of them still hanging on.
Oh, man. I knew they was in trouble when they merged with Kmart. I was like, oh.
Well, actually, you know what's even scarier is Kmart bought Sears.
Yeah.
People don't realize that. People think it's the other way around because Kmart is always kind of, on the lower end of their retail realm, comparing them to Target and Walmart and things like that.
They're like the distant cousin of Walmart.
You go into Kmart and you see different colored tiles that aren't supposed to be different colored tiles and buckets on the floor from the raindrops coming in on the ceiling. I used to work at Kmart. Trust me, I know. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of shocking when Kmart bought Sears, but that is the way that it happened. Kmart bought Sears. Actually, it was kind of one guy who bought both of them, and he merged them. And we always thought when we worked there that he had no plans on really improving the company. We thought he was trying to just tank it so he could sell off the property because he was into real estate. But
I heard they shut down. They're planning on shutting down the Kmart in Bridgeville, which is like the only Kmart that I really go to since they shut down the Kmart over at the Parkway Center Mall.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was keeping Parkway Center Mall in business was that Kmart. I mean, that and what's that pizza place?
Their
that sells the
prices are too
$5
high.
pizzas.
The Caesar, or whatever it is, Little Caesars. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, anyways, they're too expensive. There used to be this super Kmart. When I worked for Kmart, okay, there was a super Kmart in Uniontown.
I was about to say a super Kmart.
Yes, it was like a super Walmart. They had everything. They had the full grocery store, and I actually really liked the store because they had. It was before Walmart cleaned up their act, so they had these big wide aisles. It wasn't like a normal Kmart where, let me tell you, Kmart. It's funny. They have this little roller. It's a 3-foot roller.
Okay.
And every week, a manager in Kmart has to walk through every single rack in the store like a snake to make sure that there's 3 feet between everything because they were so far outside of ADA compliant, which is a law that allows handicapped people access to public spaces. They were so out of compliance from ADA regulation.
Handicapped people or fat people that like to ride on scooters?
Both. So the judge literally made managers of Kmart walk around every week with a 3-foot roller to make sure that they're in compliant. But anyways, the one in Uniontown didn't have that problem. It had these big, beautiful aisles. The grocery area was really, really nice. But their prices were so high that even with my employee discount, which was generous, the prices were well beyond Giant Eagle. Well beyond Giant Eagle. They were pricey. I see Amber here. You have a comment, Amber. I could just tell you're looking like,
please.
Holy hell.
Indulge
us. We've got Amber and Mike of the Cheerly Men here in studio.
2/10.
You were shocked to hear that.
Men.
Well, what I really want to know is whether y'all remember Hills.
Oh, yeah. I loved
Because
Hills.
I loved Hills.
Hills and then Ames, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hills
see,
was-
Ames was like in the middle.
Hills was better, yeah. Hills was much better, I feel, than Ames. Hills was great because they had the slushy, they had the,
Right, it was
the
like
popcorn, they had
I love
everything. The
that.
prices were always like low, but everything was
Those hot
neat.
dogs and those salty nachos
I actually had a
and cheese.
dream
Oh.
of Hills once. I dreamed about
dreamt
Hills.
about
yeah,
Hills?
I dreamt about Hills. I was dreaming in North Huntington because that was the Hills I knew, and we
Okay.
were blessed because Ames bought Hills, and I figured out how because I actually researched into that because I'm thinking, how in the hell did Ames buy Hills?
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, that's why Hills went under. Because Ames purchased Hills, and I was thinking, how in the hell did that happen? Because Hills was far superior to Ames, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The only thing that Ames really had a corner on was the older person market, because they had the senior citizens deals, so all the elderly would flock to
Oh
Ames.
my God! I
once-
mean, they had the biggest shoe section. Yeah, orthopedic shoes everywhere. I mean,
I don't remember the orthopedic shoes. I know
I
the
don't
color
either.
scheme
there were
was
so
hideous.
many of them, and they all were like the same 2 colors. They were like either tan or white. That's like all.
Wow.
That's all old people wore was tan or white or black. That's
well,
it.
we had one of the last Hills
They were solid colors.
that were left, that were remaining. Because, so Ames bought Hills, and there was literally an Ames across the street from the Hills in North Huntington, but that Hills made so much money, and it was so popular, that even after they bought the company and they were literally competing with themselves, they wouldn't shut that Hills down for the longest time because it was so successful and people just loved it. So we had the last remaining Hills available, or one of the last ones in the North Huntington area. And the shopping plaza until...
Are you shitting me? It's still there?
Oh, no, not anymore. The company's
I was
gone.
about to leave right
Ames,
now. I'm
Ames
going
is
to
gone
Hills.
too. Yeah, Ames is gone too.
I was like, yeah, because
So the shopping plaza was even called Norwin Hills at least a decade after Hills closed, if not longer. We just were unwilling to give up that last
Couldn't
claim
let
to
it go.
Hills. Yeah, we couldn't let it go. So I had this dream one night where the Target is, which is where Ames is now. So they tore down Ames and built a Target, which was nice. Instead of like Walmart across the street where they redesigned a hillside, Target literally just replaced an existing store, which was nice. So
Yeah.
it wasn't crazy. So I had this dream that Hills built a new store, and I don't even know how it would fit in this shopping plaza, but it was in between the highway and Target. And somehow there was plenty of room to drive around this building, but it was a normal size Hills, but it was, for some reason, they changed their colors to blue, and it was super high tech and everything.
Oh.
I don't know why. It was crazy, but it was still like a good shopping experience, and we were so thrilled to bring Hills back to the Norwin area.
I would be okay with that. I would love to see Hills come back.
It'd be great.
Hills. I did.
Well, Montgomery Ward's is still around, apparently. Like, so they closed all their stores, but apparently they still have a little, like, catalog that is still available, and you could still, like, buy through the Montgomery Ward's catalog. Maybe that's what will happen to Sears and Roebuck, the old Sears and
Oh,
Roebuck
probably.
company.
I can't imagine that. I mean, their Craftsman line isn't going to go away.
Well, I think what they'll end up doing, in my opinion, is they'll probably end up selling off
Yeah.
the brands like Craftsman and Kenmore and things like that. So Kenmore's kind of a farce too. So like Kenmore,
Farce?
it's a farce. Yeah. So Kenmore is actually Whirlpool with a different name.
No.
Oh yeah.
It's all lies.
But what's funny is Sears recently.
Nobody's ever accused an appliance of being a farce until just now.
That's the first time. First time. First time.
No,
I'm
I have
serious.
to hear this. I have to hear this.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it came out in the news, and I knew that Kenmore was just another name. That's like what a lot of these specialty things are. Is it's literally somebody else just makes it and they put a different name on it, and that's what Kenmore is. But it has this strong brand name. So Sears, who was known for having, that was their big tagline, is you could buy every major appliance company in one store. It was the only place because they were the only ones that sold Kenmore, and Kenmore was always one of the top appliance companies. So that was the only place in the United States where you could buy every major appliance company.
Okay.
So then Whirlpool wants to raise the prices, and Sears threw a hissy fit and kicked them out. Yet they're still selling Kenmore, which is owned by Whirlpool.
Wow.
So now they can no longer say they have every number one appliance company. So this is a company that doesn't really have much going for it anymore. And they got rid of one of the number one things they're known for. Yet they're still carrying that brand under a different name.
It's kind of a dick move when you think
It is a
about
dick
it.
move.
Well, that's
Right?
I have a
It is.
Kenmore stove at home, and I feel like I don't know anything anymore. My life is a lie, and I have to go home and just reevaluate all my
I'm
appliances.
unplugging all
Yeah.
this shit, man.
well, that's like most of these TVs. Almost every TV company has their screen made by Samsung. So no matter who you're buying your TV from, you're in a way you're buying it from Samsung.
I've always been happy
So-
with Samsung.
Yes.
Never had
Yeah, I'm a
problem with them.
Samsung fan.
I got the Samsung phone. I used to
Yeah.
hate the phone, but the new phone is pretty great.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like that cover.
Yeah, the cover's nice. It's got a little wallet case to it and everything else. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, I like.
But I do want to talk about the show tonight. It is the
Yes.
Big Lang Syne,
Yes.
and it's at 8 p.m. right across the courtyard from Mr. Small's Theater. Nice thing about those shows is I can sneak in through the back entrance. No, I mean, I'll go and pay, but it's like I can go back and forth. Like before the show starts, I can like come back in here, work, go back, because I know where
Yeah.
the secret entrance is, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, it's at 8 p.m. here tonight. And you said this is like a really big show for you guys. Why is it such a big show?
Well, so it's actually our 4-year anniversary
Oh,
as a
wow.
band, too.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so we've been singing shanties for 4 years now, and it all started on Burns Night. I guess it was about 4 years ago that Tim Wolfson and Debbie Wolfson of Music Night on Jupiter approached a bunch of us and asked if we would like to sing some Bowdy songs.
Yeah, you're good friends with Tim, right?
Yeah, Yeah, we used to work together, and Tim has done a tremendous amount of work for the Cheerly Men. In fact, it was really his brainchild.
There's no band without Tim. I would say. And
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Tim's got so many different connections. It's really great. He, not to continue to talk about him, but he does have this connection.
Absolutely.
With the music festival, he was a big player in the Millville Music Festival,
Absolutely.
which was something I kind of brought the people to the table. And then Brian Spoles, who's our mayor now, he knew Tim and asked if he could bring Tim to the meeting. And I said, yeah, sure. That's how we work. We're a very big collaborative committee. And he came to the meetings, and he was a great addition because working with Music for MS.
That's huge. Yeah.
It's huge. And
Absolutely.
so I've planned a lot of large events. I've planned 24-hour fundraiser events and things like that would bring in a lot of people.
He's really good.
So I'm good at organization, but every time I've ever done something like that, I've always worked under the umbrella of some major company. For example, like with the 24-hour fundraisers, that was the Relay for Life, which is under the American Cancer Society.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they worry about security and they worry about the legal shit and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't have to think about that. So with this, we were kind of creating our own thing, and we did tag on with the Millville Community Development Corporation, but he was able to bring in a lot of different perspective from working with Music for MS because that was something that he created. So he had to deal with other issues that I never had to deal with working in these other large-scale organizations. So yeah, he was a great asset.
He knows all of that stuff. It's all in his head, which is kind of incredible.
And he does it. What I love about Tim, among other things, he does it all for the love of it. He's not gonna.
Yeah, he's not doing it to make money.
He's spending all this time and all these hours, and he's got these wonderful grandkids now that are a blessing to his life, and he still finds time through everything to put bands together, to bring people like us together and say, hey, you guys, you need to. He bothered me for a year. I'm not an original cheerleader, man. I should say that.
He stalked Rado for
I was
a year.
Tim's butcher. I was the guy who.
Really?
Butcher. Yeah, I was his butcher. So
okay,
we'd get to chatting, and I really grew fond of him because he would eat everything in the case. If I was making a really bizarre old blood sausage or pate or something, he was buying as much as I'd sell him. And he's talking about this group for this event for Robert Burns. And I go, yeah, I can't. We just opened this butcher shop and I can't. He goes, no, you got the big bass voice. We need you in there. I said, I can't. And I managed to stave him off his advances for a year. And every week when he's in the butcher shop, he'd usually come by Saturday mornings and he'd get his Andouille and he'd get this and that. And he'd go, so when are you going to come down with the band? I said, Tim, I'm too busy. I got a kid. Finally, because we catered.
That's right.
The first birthday at the Barrel House, my wife
That's
and
right.
I. And
you did the Ode to the Haggis, which is part of the Burns Night ceremony.
Part of the celebration, you'd read a poem about a haggis.
What is a haggis again?
It's nasty.
It is not.
I heard it one time in that movie. What is it? So I Married an Axe Murderer.
Yes.
I remember.
There was a haggis in that movie?
Oh,
I think so.
Yeah, there's
I didn't know
absolutely a
that.
haggis. His father was a Scottish butcher in that movie.
Yeah.
See, I didn't make the connection. Why don't you tell everybody what's in a haggis?
What's a
A
haggis?
haggis is not as scary as it sounds. A haggis is simply lean lamb meat with lamb organs, which have been cooked together, heavily spiced, and then stuffed traditionally into the sheep's stomach. So now you've got.
Tasty.
Stop it.
I mean, I eat chitlins, so I mean.
Listen.
Sheep guts don't sound too
if you
bad.
like liver, it's the predominant flavor is the lamb's liver. Which is
I've never had liver.
Really? It's outstanding.
I've had liver.
My mom didn't
Not
like it,
sheep.
so I never was exposed to it when I was a
never
kid.
had
Because if
liver.
she didn't like it, she wasn't gonna make
Yeah.
it.
Smells terrible. Tastes funny, but I've eaten it before.
Smells terrible, tastes funny. That's a ringing endorsement.
To be honest, the haggis was really good. In fact, I think we made
We made
haggis at
fools
3
of
in the morning.
ourselves at your house at 3 o'clock in the
That
morning. with the
happened
haggis.
last year.
Yeah.
Post Burns Night party.
You tried to wake me up. You want some haggis? No. I've been
Yeah.
making haggis for 3 days. It's a long process. It's a wonderful dish. It's kind of the national dish of Scotland, that and deep fried Mars bars. Yeah. This is why they have the
Deep
highest.
fried Mars bar.
The deep fried Mars, the Scottish deep fried pizza, I'm not even kidding. They have the highest rate of heart disease in the developed world, and that's
Really?
why. Yeah.
Huh.
deep fried pizza, deep fried candy bars, deep fried Oreos, all that stuff that you see at carnivals now that you're like, no, that's a joke. That started in Scotland.
Okay, so America's
Really?
trying to keep up with Scotland
That's
now,
right.
as far
That's
as
right.
obesity and
So
heart
I'm-
disease and diabetes and shit like that. Okay.
I'm excited. I'm hoping to be able to stop out tonight. I'm excited to check you guys out because I am part Scottish, I think.
Oh, that's
Because
excellent.
Crawford is a
Oh,
Scottish
that's good,
name.
laddie.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's possible. However, there's this big fight, and I want to get your guys' thoughts. Now, how did you guys become a Scottish band? Or one of you, do you have roots to Scotland?
So it's funny. No, I mean we don't. Rado is actually the most authentic member, I think, and you're Irish.
I'm primarily Irish. I have a bit of Scottish and English.
You do
all
have-
those,
yeah.
you know, the British Isles, over the course of hundreds of years, they all blend together.
Oh,
Someone
sure.
Can say, I'm full-blood Irish. Yeah, take the 23andMe and post the results online and tell me that you're not from here, and here. You know, no, I guess it started
It started
as a
with
Scottish
Burns
theme
Night.
band to
It was
celebrate
the
Robert
theme.
Burns, but then it morphed into and you know better about the history of the band
Yeah.
than me because I was an outlier. I was just the haggis guy.
until Tim coerced you, or how did you say it? He
Burns Night round 2, we had moved from the Barrel House to Teutonia Manor
That's right.
on the German Hall on the north side there, which is a great venue and we like playing there. And I made the haggis again, and I had Jim the Mick with me.
Yes,
Irish
yes.
Jimmy.
Jim
And,
the Mick.
if you're watching in Ireland, buddy, we came over and did that one, and our intention was to make haggis and drink whiskey and watch
right.
the band all night. And then we were going to deliver the ode to the haggis, and it's a big celebratory thing where the piper comes in like full-blown bagpipes, and I'm walking behind her, and I've got a steaming, reeking haggis on top of a big wooden platter. And, it's
very serious.
Nice.
It's a big solemn occasion. Then you get down and you read this poem, preferably in the thickest of Scottish brogues, and
Can you do a little bit for us?
yeah, I can.
I think you should.
Just a little bit.
Farewell, ye honest sunset face, great chieftain o' the puddin' race. Weel worthy are you over grace, as long's me erm. That's the first
Yes.
stanza. That's one of like 30.
See why we needed this guy?
That's
We needed
fantastic.
this guy. We needed this guy.
It's not as difficult as you'd think. Mike Myers, So I Married an Ex-Murderer, said to sound Scottish, you just have to sound somewhat drunk and angry.
Yeah.
All the time. And
That's
you
right.
can pull off a pretty respectable Scottish accent at that point.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So as we're there and we're piping in the haggis, and now Katie and I were sitting on the dais, as it were, with Jody Spehar and Aaron Chapman. Aaron Chapman from the Real Mackenzies, among everything.
Oh yeah, he's a writer. He's the
He's a
Renaissance
published
man.
writer. He is very much, I said last night, he's the only guy I know who can wear a pea coat like 8 or 9 months out of the year and not look like an asshole. And he's from
Factual.
Vancouver, which helps. But he came on as the MC for the first couple of
He
years
did.
because he's
He
got
was
a
our
great
chairman.
Scottish tradition and he's got a great sense of history, and he writes historical fiction and historical nonfiction. He'd come into the butcher shop the day prior to the show, and the next thing you know, he and Danny Rechtenwald from Bastard Bearded Irishman are literally pulling me on stage during the
Bastard
Yep.
bearded Irishman.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's the best.
I love that.
That's the
That-
best
wait,
Irish
you-
band in Pittsburgh.
You should listen to my first interview actually before the podcast even launched. So this predates the podcast, which predated the network. But my first interview was actually with Ben of the Bastard Bearded
right on.
Irishman,
Right.
and it was interesting to hear how that band started because they never planned on being an actual like long-term band. It was a charity event, and it just kind of is this something similar? Can you?
This is exactly. I think we were
Okay,
even
we gotta
chatting.
go into this. Yeah.
We were chatting about this earlier. You know, when Tim got us all together to do Burns Night, we didn't have any idea that 4 years later we would be sitting here, and we really didn't prepare for audiences to kind of respond to the music the way they have. That's been one of the neatest surprises about doing this. Because we do a lot of the Scottish tunes for Burns Night. We'll do a lot of our Irish tunes for St. Pat's. But traditionally, we pulled these sea shanties in because we thought that would be fun. And there's a lot of crossover with the genres there.
Okay.
And we have some, dirty songs that we do as the evening wears on.
Some dirty song.
A few, and it's a lot of fun. And so not only are we having fun doing the music, but people are having fun when they come out. And we thought, wow, maybe we're onto something.
Yeah.
And the last year has been really exciting because we've gotten some new opportunities, and we're actually putting together a press kit like adults. We're going to adult hard.
Nice.
At some point and work on some recordings. And so, but I think really traditionally we are a live band. I think to get, every show is different.
Yeah.
And to get the full experience, I think you have to come see us live.
I understand how that is. I think it's similar in radio, actually, to be quite honest, because I can't sit there and do a pre-recorded podcast.
Right.
It drives me nuts.
Right.
I find no pleasure in it.
It's not as fun. There's
It's
not
not
that
as fun.
spontaneity.
We need interaction.
Well, even beyond that, like, so even
Yeah.
like my Monday
Like
show,
my boy
which
Jared.
I can't do my Monday show during the Monday. Well, I guess I could move it back to Monday mornings, but we moved it away for work reasons. But we were still doing it live on Facebook and then rebroadcasting it on Mondays. And it's just like, it still has that feel. There's an excitement to it. So if something, even just, not that you want anything to go wrong, because I go crazy. He's seen me go crazy when things go wrong.
Yeah.
But
But it's part of
yeah.
it.
it's part of it, yeah. And it makes it, I think, more exciting and exhilarating to put everything out on the line and
Yep.
go through things and fight through it. And to me, there's a certain kind of energy that comes with it that
Oh, yeah.
you just don't get in a pre-recorded environment.
That's right.
So I'm big into the live performances. I always have, and I remember one time I did go back and do it pre-recorded for a short time before we started doing the video, and it was a similar situation where I had to move for a work schedule, and I was just so miserable. I hated coming in to do it.
Yeah, it's
And
not fun.
no, it's not.
It takes all the spontaneity out of it, and you talk about when things go wrong. I think one of the the most interesting things for me as a musician, because there's so many of us. We've had as many as 13 in the band. We have
Okay.
10 right now.
Yeah, we've really scaled it back. We're
Yeah.
taking it easy with
We're taking it easy. But as a musician, one of the biggest challenges has been not only learning how to play with each other, because a lot of us, didn't know each other at all before Tim introduced us. But beyond that, it's been, what do you do when shit inevitably goes wrong? Because it's going to
Yeah.
go wrong at every show. And I think we've really learned in the last 4 years, especially with this group, how to not only cover for each other, but just kind of relax and enjoy it.
Just
And
go with the flow.
Yeah,
Just go with it.
Well, do you ever have a better performance when you're pissed off?
I don't think
when things go wrong.
Being angry has ever made us better.
I-
I
Playing
can
angry doesn't
name of
seem like your
once.
style.
I can think of once when we played to a completely empty room, and I do mean with the bloody semen.
Y'all just said fuck it and just went.
And,
Yeah, we
and that
just
was
went
it.
balls out.
We were upset. We all got blasted,
Yeah.
and we just. That was a lot of fun. It was certainly not our best show ever.
No.
That was the only time I think that anger came into play.
I still
Okay.
feel bad about that
No,
because we had
because
another
you-
band on the bill. We had the Bloody Seamen with us.
But
and
we were playing
Bloody
for them.
Semen?
The Bloody
Yeah.
Semen are Pittsburgh's.
Yeah,
They are
they're great.
Pittsburgh
Raunchy pirate band.
Loved it.
Yes,
Love it.
yes. There's actually So we are Pittsburgh's shanty band, and they are Pittsburgh's pirate band.
Okay.
And we've
good
been
combination,
Yeah,
yeah.
It was. They do a lot of more electric stuff, so it was
Okay.
a neat counterpoint to us being more acoustic. It was
Okay.
It was fun, but
Who knew there
nobody
was-
showed.
Who knew there was such a demand for songs about slaughtering whales?
That's what I'm saying. I never would have.
Like 400-year-old songs about slaughtering whales. Like, it's fascinating because all this stuff that we do is rooted in history, either
Right.
Irish or Scottish or English. But, most of the guys who staff these whaling boats and these privateer boats were from the British Isles.
That's
They're
right.
English. So a lot of Americana roots music has its basics in Irish folk music
Sure.
because they bring their fiddles and their banjos and over here and they'd settle in Appalachia.
Yep.
And that's
Okay.
where bluegrass comes from.
Yeah, there's
So-
definitely a tie in there.
Oh,
Absolutely.
100%. These were the guys that worked the mines. They were the guys that worked the shipping. They were the guys on the boats. They were the fishermen. They were the uneducated, swarthy longshoremen with the ruddy face and the red cheeks and the gin blossom nose, the drunken sailor. What shall
Yeah.
we do, So it really kind of seamlessly blends, I think, with the Irish and the Scottish and all that
absolutely.
stuff. So we're able to be a little more versatile as a band instead of saying every song has to be about a boat and fishing or has to be about
Yes.
cannons.
Right.
We can do songs about drinking at the pub, and we do songs.
We do songs about booze.
We do songs about fornication and.
Ooh, I want to hear that.
we sing
Like,
about.
what's your best song? I mean, I know y'all got a bunch of them.
Ooh. Well,
Like if somebody asked for like if they requested it or something.
What's a
Like,
song? What,
I think we all have our favorites. Is the thing. So the thing about this band that's unique, and this is going to be the long answer.
Okay.
We have no fewer than 4 lead singers on stage at a
Oh,
time.
wow.
And
Okay.
everybody in the band also sings. So so we've our music director, Jamie Grant, she's our cellist and our music director. She's structured this so that we also have a choir sort of sound on our harmonies and on our choruses and things like that.
Okay.
And so we have that choral background, which is interesting. So I think if I was answering the question, I would say my favorites are Bonnie Ship the Diamond and Captain Ward.
Yeah.
But I think, Rado, you probably... An Irish Rover. Irish Rover is another
Irish
one.
Rover is one of my favorites. And what she's not mentioning is that we have 60, 70, 80 songs that we know to pull from. Now,
That's right.
not that we can play them all right in a row.
Sure.
But if it's a song we haven't done in a while, we'll walk through it and practice. And Jamie and Amber are both terrific for structuring these practices to get everybody there, get everybody focused, get everybody on the same page, and then say, hey, we've had 3 new members of the band since we've last done this song. We're going to need to teach it to them, and it's going to be good to reteach ourselves. So, favorites. My favorites are different every month because we have so many cool ones.
Yeah.
My favorite to sing would probably be Heave Away. I think that's a
really?
really fun tune. That's really a
Heave
good
Away.
Heave Away. It's a good
Heave
representation
Away,
of the
okay.
band. I think it's
Yeah.
because any of the songs where the whole band's singing together, where it's a lot of instrumentation and where it's just indicative. Down by the Riverside, which you never sing anymore,
I know.
is one of my
I know.
absolute all-time favorites. It's an anti-war song. It's a water song.
Why'd you stop?
Because we have so many great songs. That's been one of the blessings of this group. We have such talented musicians, and people have put the time in. Our catalog is seriously at least 60,
Wow.
at least 70. We play for 3-hour clips, so we.
And that's about half the
That's
catalog.
crazy.
Yeah, we could,
Yeah.
if we had the energy and the stamina, we could do 6 hours of live
Add 10
music
more
and not
people.
repeat a song.
Add-
Yeah, let's
yeah.
just get 10 more people.
And they
Why
can
not?
rotate in and out.
We need
Why
to-
not?
we need
I
a
find
didgeridoo.
all this extra space on stage really makes me feel small. So if we could be standing on top of each other even more so.
Then there you go. You'll be set.
That's been one of the challenges, is just getting everybody on the damn stage.
That's what we love it here at Smalls is the stage is
That's right.
It's big enough.
It is,
right.
yeah,
You
it
know,
is nice.
for 10 of us.
Yep, we can.
Barely upstairs, but it is big
We
enough.
can make it work. It's
Yeah.
true. It's true.
So we're going to roll into Cooper's Corner, and then when we come back, I have a question for you guys that has to do with my name.
Oh, okay.
And has to do with Scotland, and being that you guys are the shanty band here in Pittsburgh. I want to
Yeah.
get your thoughts to see
All right.
what you think. But Jay, do you have? Are we going back to the old way, or do you have the?
No, you know what? Because Howie ain't here, I'm just going to do it myself.
Oh, just go for it.
I'll do it myself.
All right.
We're going to commercial, right?
No, let's roll right
we're
into
going
it.
into it
We're
now?
going right into it.
All
Cooper's
right, you
Corner
know
right
what?
here. We've got Amber and Mike here of the Cheerly Men. They've got a show tonight, 8 p.m. at the Funhouse at Mr. Smalls.
Woo!
I'm Brian Crawford. You're listening to River Talk on the River's Edge Radio Network, and right now we've got Cooper's Corner.
You're going to help me out on this one.
I don't know how to do this.
Yes, you do.
Cheers, dude.
Come on. It's a beatbox.
All right,
It's a
we'll do it.
beatbox.
Do you guys know how to beatbox?
I'm not going to claim to be good at it, but I can
All
make a
right, so
beat.
Jay's got it. I don't know how to do this. I'm just gonna groove.
Wicka, 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 wicka.
Yeah, there you go.
Wicka, 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 wicka.
Switch it up every time. So go, Cooper's Corner, Cooper's Corner, Cooper's Corner,
Wicka, 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 wicka.
Cooper's Corner. That was good.
Wow.
Yeah, high five,
Yeah.
man. That was nice. That was nice, man. That was awesome. I love that.
Wow, I'm ready now.
I've been learning from my daughter.
Shit. I thought I needed Howie for this. Nah.
You're
We
set.
got you. We got
Did
you.
not need him for this.
Now we got 61 songs.
That's right. We're ready.
Yeah.
We're doing it.
You do a perfect wicked. I like that.
I worked really hard on that.
All right, everybody. Welcome to Cooper's Corner. This is this topic is about something that happened this past Friday, the 12th. I guess uptown, Fifth Avenue at Pizza Milano's. Last week, a pizza shop manager was recorded Facebook Live assaulting a woman who he said was being loud and disruptive. The woman is 34-year-old Jade Martin. And what happened was she was coming out of the Ace of Ducey. I don't know if y'all familiar with that bar. But when she got out, she was waiting for the bus, but she missed it. So she decided to go to Pizza Milano. She wanted to use the bathroom, but was refused, to use the bathroom because she wasn't a paying customer, I guess. And then on top of that, the article was stated by the manager, whose name is Mahmoud Yamaz, 41 years old. He's a big part of this story. he was asking her to leave because she was being very loud and disruptive, bothering the customers inside, hitting them up for money and stuff. And he supposedly was trying to ask her nicely to leave. But then when the recording came on, you can hear him saying, please leave. You can hear him saying, please leave. She's saying, and he's pushing her away, and she's like, push me again. Now, I'm just going to allege that she was a little tipsy or whatever. I mean, I know how it is at Easy Doocy. I've seen people that come out of that place, but no excuse for what this man did. He grabbed her, had her up against the door. He headbutted her.
Oh man!
Yeah, it was pretty intense.
And then he tackled her to the floor through a table, like the table just flipped over, and he is just like banging her head off the floor.
No.
Yeah. The whole thing is on YouTube. If anybody ever want to check that out. At the time when the article came out, there was like 800,000 views. I'm sure it's probably a lot more than that.
Man.
But yeah, so basically. So basically after when he took her down, of course, the Milano staff, they took, they pulled him off of her and everything. They escorted the woman out. She later went to Mercy Hospital, where she was diagnosed with having a concussion and a hematoma on her forehead, which I'm sure probably came from that UFC headbutt that Milmad Yilmaz put on her. Yilmaz was charged with aggravated assault and, of course, was fired. And surprisingly, Jade Martin was charged with aggravated trespassing and disorderly conduct.
Wow.
Yeah. And then on top of that, as the days went on, like the very next day, because of how the video went viral, there have been protesters outside of Milano's boycotting to shut the place down.
I just don't know why you didn't just call the cops. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, I never.
He could have just called the cops and they would have come and taken care of it, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And then he wouldn't have lost his job. They wouldn't have gotten all of this press.
Yeah. Yeah, his story sounded a lot different than what she gave the story to, because he said that he don't remember headbutting her. He says, I recall that I slipped and I may have hit her or something like that.
Oh, it was pretty aggressive.
I'm like,
really,
dude, I saw
that's a politician answer.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Bullshit. If you headbutt somebody, you by God know it.
Well, wait,
Right?
does he have a mark on his forehead? It seems pretty...
They did say that he did have a mark on his forehead.
So...
Yeah.
He also, if you look at the video, not only did he knock this woman down, he rammed her. He was like ramming her into the corner of the building, and then she fell over, and then he's down on top of her.
Yeah, holding her, going like that, and just banging her head off.
I want to know. I'm
crazy.
glad that the video is out there, because this guy's going to get caught now. But what kind of a jackass is sitting there recording somebody getting mugged?
Yeah, I was very pissed about that. That was the one that really pissed me off, because I'm like, somebody just stood there and just watched this happen.
They all were standing there. If you watch the
That's
video,
a whole culture now.
This is
everybody.
thank you.
But
This
even
is
the
new
people who weren't videotaping, they're still standing there just kind of watching. I remember seeing in the video, you see this woman come out of the back room, and she's just like, "Oh man,
Wait, nobody intervened at all? There was no intervention.
Not until he had already had her down on the ground and pretty much knocked out.
And then all the Milano's employees started coming out from the kitchen.
But they all stood there and watched. They came out of the kitchen and watched until she was until it was too late.
Right.
They
wait till after the fact.
Yeah.
So they were all silently in their own heads chanting, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry.
Well, I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm guessing this.
Is that what that was?
Maybe this woman was like a questionable, or as they say, a bad customer. Maybe she was a bad customer. I'm not saying there's no excuse for what they did, but maybe that's why they were all like, this bitch is in here all the time, giving me a hard time.
Yeah, but man, I don't know.
Oh, I'm not saying that that's okay at all. I definitely, you don't.
I mean, they're both in the wrong here. Okay, she came in there. They said that she was loud, disruptive, belligerent.
Oh,
so
they're definitely
she was in the wrong, but he was way.
Oh, he's way in the wrong. I agree. I'm just wondering if
wrong.
maybe that's why everyone just stood there and watched, because they're thinking this bitch is in here every week.
Yeah.
Doesn't tip. Doesn't do this. Whatever.
Yeah. All this over a bathroom.
Maybe she's finally.
Or a piss you could have gone behind the dumpster and taken care of if she really had to go that badly.
Which is what most drunk girls do in Southside. They just go in the alley somewhere or up against a car up on the sidewalk and,
They've got this toilet where I work, which is really hideous. I don't know if someone dropped something on it or what, but it is the ugliest toilet. But that is the only toilet that I'll poop on. Because it's the cleanest one in the building, because no one poops on this toilet.
How do you know that?
How do I know it's the cleanest one in the building? Because there's never any like
He's a regular.
I see.
Well, I mean, I work there, so you gotta find the bathroom that works. But here's how I know it's clean, because first off, you go in there, and when you're a man and you go to a commode, you could tell because there's always like pee residue because people,
it's so bad.
yeah, because there's splash because people will pee in there instead of the urinal, and then it splashes back up. And then they don't wipe it off, and it dries on it. So you never see any pee residue on the seat. And it's so hideous. Like, at first, I almost didn't sit on it because I'm like, oh, my God. And then I realized, wait, this isn't, like, anything foul that's on the seat. It's just a really fucked up seat.
Yeah.
So
But you're not composing a symphony in there. You don't need a... I mean, how awful does a toilet have to look? Physical appearance, not dirty, but just the physical aesthetic of a toilet. How bad does it have to be for you to go, I really got to evacuate my bowels, but that thing is hideous. I'm out of here.
exactly. Well, that's kind of
I'm wiping the thing down thoroughly. I don't care.
Well, that's
clenching
my-
butt
See, I'm in
cheeks.
your club.
I'm holding my stomach.
I
in.
am
I'm
too.
using up paper towels.
I use
using
the
up
paper
soap.
towels. You strategically
Water.
place them
Your
to
little
sit down.
Disposable
Wait,
paper
guys do
gas
that
gasket
too? Do you
around
do
Oh
the
that?
seat.
yeah,
Do you do
absolutely.
that?
But my thing is, this seat, I know I'm with you, Mike. Where it's hideous, but I know it's clean because it's hideous. Because I know everybody else does. I mean, you go in there, it's always the cleanest restroom in the entire place. Because I go in and I open up every single door and look, and I assess the situation before I
little
I sit
recon.
down. Yeah. So
Wow. This is really enlightening.
Yeah.
I'm
And what I really like is the protesters and stuff because they really they had this sign that I really thought was cute. No justice, no pizza.
Oh, I thought we were still talking about toilets. Okay. We went back. We went back.
I got back on the protesters though. But yeah, the toilet thing, yeah, that's
it's horrible.
That's nasty.
Well, I just think I've advocated for years on this show that I would like, and I think China started doing this. I read a report once where they have like this secret bathroom police that makes sure that you're leaving public restrooms in a clean.
yes,
I like that.
Don't leave.
Yeah, in a
Secret
clean way.
bathroom police?
Yeah.
If you're gonna
I
leave
like that.
if you're gonna leave toilet paper on the toilet seat to sit down, when you get up,
Knock it in the bowl.
just- Flush
knock
the
it in the
commode,
bowl.
don't
Don't leave
the-
it there.
Flush the toilet.
That's
Just
so
flush
nasty.
the
Now we got
flush the toilet
now we got
too.
your ass residue on the toilet paper.
I'm really glad
resting
we're
on the toilet
talking about
seat.
this. I have
Now, let's
strong
get down
feelings.
to the bottom of the important issues.
I have really strong feelings
This is
about
some
this.
important shit that needs to be addressed.
Well, I've always felt that there should be a secret
Speak
bathroom
on it.
police. They hold you off to the side while they go in and inspect what you've done. They have like the little wand because you could actually do that. When I worked at a rent-to-own place, if you brought back furniture, the government would come back with a magic wand and they would scan it and look for these microbes, and they could tell if you put the cleaning agent on it or not to resell it. So that way you would know if it was like it was a cleaning agent that would kill all the bacteria and the bed bugs and all of that stuff. But they had a wand and they could tell. So you could put those microbes into the soap, and then when the bathroom police come by and they check to make sure that you clean the toilet, they could also make sure that you cleaned your hands appropriately because you're spreading, like right now we're in flu season. Those bastards are out there not washing their hands, spreading the flu throughout the country.
That's the grossest thing in the world. If you don't
It
wash
is.
your hands after you use the toilet, I don't think you should be allowed to vote. I really don't. I
don't think you should be allowed to. I think you should be forced to. Not allowed.
Should be allowed to.
Not allowed to vote. I
think
agree.
that's like first punishment, right? Like you catch somebody doing it, like dude, that's it. Give me you're done.
I think you should also be forced to defecate in public, and then you have to clean it up. If it's 2 degrees out, you're out there taking a dump out on the sidewalk, and then you have to clean it up like some sort of an animal because you can't be trusted to use a public restroom. And I think it's time that we put these people in their place. It's time we hold them accountable. The rest of us shouldn't have to deal with your shit.
No,
Your literal shit.
I'm assuming that football games are exempt.
No.
Football stadiums.
No, I don't
No.
think you should ever be exempt from a clean
Dude, by the
restroom.
third quarter in a Steelers game, in any NFL stadium,
Listen.
by the third quarter, there's 6 inches of piss in the men's room, in every men's room. There's guys pissing in the sinks, in the garbage cans. That's just, I've seen it.
Listen,
it's not.
y'all.
I don't care though. I don't
It's not
want to.
okay.
I don't want to. What's that?
It's not okay, but
it's not okay.
But it's a reality.
Okay, but if we hold people accountable and we have strict laws that make people afraid to leave a restroom untidy, then maybe we could change that culture.
You know, it's
there's
this
a-
kind of thinking that could have avoided a government shutdown that we're going.
That's what
on
I'm
right
saying.
now.
That's what I'm. Yeah,
Here's
exactly.
another thing I want to talk
I
about.
think this is,
too.
and I also think that, real quick, I think this is also something that both Democrats and Republicans could stand behind. It's bipartisanship. I think that everybody could get behind
Bipartisan toilet.
these
Bipartisan
authoritarian bathroom
shit.
policies. Yeah.
Yeah, I really think that we should be really strong on the whole courtesy flush thing.
Oh.
I have been at my job. I would go into a bathroom and I would see an employee that would sit in the stall, like he done dropped his deuce, and then he just sat there and stewed in it, and the whole bathroom just reeks of it. And I'm like, dude, courtesy flush, man. I mean, I don't mind you sleeping on the toilet in the stall and shit, because there's two other ones, but I'm saying, flush the shit though. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I have to suffer? I'm only gonna be in here for a minute.
Well, if you don't flush,
who sits and stew in their own stuff, man,
don't know.
and then take a nap? Who falls asleep?
oh yeah,
Listen,
because
if you're
once
like
that
that-
stuff hits
if you're
the
falling
air,
asleep on the toilet, you got bigger problems.
Listen,
man.
wait a minute.
Like-
wait a minute.
like,
wait
you're
a
not
minute. Whoa. Listen, wait a minute. I got to get in on this. I need to speak with the authority of one that has a vagina. All right.
All right.
We need to talk about women's rooms for a second because
Okay.
y'all are like,
oh, they're much worse. They're much worse.
Oh, you don't even know the
I-
horrors I've seen. It's like I got PTSD from that shit.
I believe it.
No. So I used to work in a place that will remain unnamed, and the women's bathrooms were just grody because women are nasty.
Oh, they're horrible.
They really are.
People don't think that they are, but I was a front end supervisor,
Factual.
and I used to have to go in and clean because I was one of those people. I always felt like a horrible scumbag sending somebody in who's making minimum wage to clean up the nasty restrooms while
God
I stand
bless you.
outside. So I would always take care of that, and I'd let them continue to ring. So I've seen both of the bathrooms, so I know what you mean.
know.
Yeah.
The hover. All right, listen.
You squat and poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have hovered. I respect the hover. But
Respect
you know,
the hover.
but I carry disinfecting wipes in my handbag. We have a handbag.
All right.
Put your and you just clean that. You just take care of that, and then you're okay. You don't need to hover. I don't, and that because that just gets pee on the seat, and nobody wants to sit. And when you hover and you pee on the seat, why are these bitches not wiping that off?
I know.
Bitches
Well, that's
need
like
to
the
wipe that
backsplash.
shit off.
The-
That
yeah.
You hear that, bitches?
Yeah, y'all need to do that.
That's like the backsplash in the men's restroom. I understand that. I know
what I'm
it's
saying?
worse in the women's restroom.
Like, what are you doing? You don't have any. I mean, you guys at least have an excuse. You kind of gotta like saddle on up to it. And
Well, I mean,
aim.
there's a
We have no
urinal
excuse.
though. I mean, you
I like
could go
your
to the.
walk there.
Did you like that? Was that
John
fun?
Wayne
Yeah, a little
urinal approach?
I was getting my lady dick like situated.
This one time I was working at Target and this woman, I was called in for a bathroom cleanup, and this woman shat with such force that it ricocheted.
Sorry, that's just such a brilliant term.
Shat. I love that word.
The force of 1,000 exploding suns.
Oh, it was awful. So she shat with such force that it ricocheted off the seat, bounced onto the two walls of the
Whoa.
It
stall.
bounced.
Then it dripped down onto the floor and overflew into the two stalls on each side.
I'm saying she had some problems. I don't know.
That sounds
what.
like
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say there were some side effects, maybe to an unintended medication
Yeah,
going
maybe.
on.
I think we got a new movie coming up, Bad Grandma. Blam! Did you remember how when he shitted and
Oh
the
God,
wall?
yeah. Funny.
They
My
left the
God.
restaurant.
Well, I don't know how I'd react. You know, I was once in a Golden Corral, and I notoriously, I have a lot of problems with the Golden Corral, but my brother-in-law wanted to go there for his birthday. And I went into the ladies' room, and I actually stepped in mess. I can't even.
God.
I can't even. And it was just, it
Wait,
was
30 seconds
scarring.
ago you said lady dick, but you won't say poop now?
No, but it was just, like I said, like it's traumatic. I don't want to go there.
Don't want to relive that
It
experience.
was, and then I come out and nobody believed me. It was my mother-in-law was like, "You're kidding, right?" And I'm like, no, I literally just stepped in shit. Like, can we please leave? This was, yeah. So I believe that it can ricochet and slide down the walls.
The bathroom at a Golden Corral is probably where dreams go to die. That's probably the last step on your way to purgatory.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
How
So,
are we sending messages to me?
did you lock the door behind you when you came in?
I might have. 'cause
Are we in trouble for talking about poop? Is
No,
it?
he likes it. He says, I don't think some guys even try to aim for the toilet. What about banning people for life who shit in the urinal?
Yes! How
Wait,
do you
that's
even
a
do
thing?
that?
Another
it
thing-
is
Yeah.
a thing.
Another thing are the people who intentionally
Whoa.
clog the toilets too. They're bastards.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait, we need to back up. We need to back. People will shit in the urinal?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've seen it happen.
What is wrong?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you as a human being that you're taking, like, you have a stall and you're gonna shit in the urinal?
It's
when
horrible.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yeah.
No, that's
No, I'm kidding.
no, because here's the thing. There's never
Somebody has to take that out of there.
exactly.
Somebody has
man.
to physically remove
Can you
that piece
imagine
of
if that's
evidence
your
from-
job?
No.
And here's the
Fire
thing:
me.
there are never too many stalls in a men's bathroom. There are often not enough urinals, but it's more likely that the urinals will all be tied up before the stalls.
That's true.
So, oops, I got my camera's all messed up. So, I do want to talk about this name thing. So we want to move into
Nice
this.
segue.
We've got.
Moving on
Yeah,
from
so there's a
headbutts
shitty name
headbutts
issue
and
that I'm dealing with.
feces and-
So we've got Amber and Mike of the Cheerleadmen, who they're Pittsburgh shanty band. So I have a shanty question for you.
Ooh, okay.
So there's a big fight. So first off, my last name is Crawford, and that
Okay.
is a Scottish name, and I feel like I'm related to William Wallace because his mother was a Crawford. So I feel like, I'm a badass, I'm a hard ass, I'm awesome because
Wait a minute,
my
William
last name
Wallace,
is
I know that
he's
character
the Scottish freedom
Braveheart.
fighter. Yeah, Braveheart.
Yes.
Blue
So-
face and
All
all
right.
that shit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I
Okay.
feel like I'm related to him because his mother was a Crawford. I'm a Crawford. So clearly, we must
Like
be
you
related.
feel like you're related, or like you did some genealogy?
I have done no research. I'm
Okay.
just assuming because I'm Pittsburgh's moral compass, Brian Crawford, your voice of reason among three rivers of chaos. I've kind of got like the same whole
Yeah.
like saving the community
Absolutely.
thing going. So
Sure.
I feel like we must be related.
Perhaps your pants tearing is the Scottish God's way of telling you that you need to be in a kilt.
That could be.
That might be it.
Free
Yeah,
yourself from your pants prison.
that's what I need to do.
You might have the legs.
That's a great
for it. Who
idea.
knows?
You know?
So there's this big fight though because a Crawford married a Lindsay apparently, and the Lindsays claim the Crawford clan. They claim that they should all be called Lindsays. I think it's
Oh.
bullshit. I definitely don't want to be called Lindsay.
Brian Lindsay.
I like Crawford better. So what do you guys think? Do you think like I like should the Crawfords go to the war like the people that still have the name Crawford, should we go to war with the Lindsays and
Absolutely.
and take them out?
Like Hatfield and McCoy style.
Yeah, I think what the world needs more of is a good old fashioned hillbilly scuffle, and if that's what it's going to take to
with scotch.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, yeah, with whiskey involved.
this is what y'all do. You get all scotched up, and then you just figure it out.
I'm all for men in kilts just fighting
Yep.
each other.
Yeah.
That's pay-per-view worthy. I'm
Right.
sorry. That's
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
the Crawfords are more like we're better because we've got our name everywhere. Like just look at Pennsylvania. You've got Crawford Town. You've got a Crawford County.
Crawford
you've got
Square.
Crawford everything. Where are the Lindsays? They're nowhere. They've done nothing with their name. We have like done everything.
I
We're
think that's a
awesome.
really strong argument.
you
Thank
could
you.
not be the master of Millville Shore if your last name was Lindsay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it just doesn't work.
No, it
So-
doesn't. It
I am
doesn't have the
Brian
same ring.
Lindsay, your moral compass. No.
No.
Yeah, I gotta wash that out of my mouth.
See, I'm okay. Good. I'm glad everyone's.
I think we agree.
old-fashioned shillelagh law of
Shillelagh law. Okay.
shillelagh law, I think is in order.
Do you want to explain what a shillelagh
yeah, what is shillelagh?
So
Oh,
a
yeah.
shillelagh is an Irish walking stick. It's also known as a cudgel. That's usually made by the petrified root of a blackthorn tree. So it's as hard as concrete, but it's a walking stick, and they're beautiful in that the vines naturally wrap around the roots of this tree to create this knotted pattern. I wish I had my great granddad's shillelagh.
should have
with me.
brought your
I should
shillelagh.
brought
That
it
would have
with
been
me.
great. Yeah.
But the shillelagh law in Ireland was when the warring clans back in the Celts and the Druidic era, before the British came over there. The warring clans from village to village, and I'm going to screw this up, and Aaron Chapman, if he hears this, is going to very sternly correct me, but you would go in with your cudgels and your shillelaghs, and that was the rules were you'd go to war with the neighboring clan over a dispute. Nobody died because you're just beating the piss out of each other with these really heavy wooden sticks. So generally nobody died, but it got the job done. It was better than a fist fight, better than a gun, better
Yeah,
than a
that's
fist fight
fantastic.
for incapacitating people, better than a gunfight for not killing people, and there were no guns. So
Wow.
shillelagh law was the code of conduct by which the Irish warring chieftains held themselves accountable.
I like
that.
it. That's great.
And women fought alongside the men hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And yeah, it's a pretty fascinating thing that your shillelagh should be this long and it should be your cudgel.
Yeah, I've seen them. In wrestling, I have seen, what was that dude? Finley. I
Yeah.
don't know if you ever heard of Finley. Fit Finley, David Finley. He used to come down with a shillelagh, and that's how he used to beat people.
Really?
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
It was about that big.
So tell the Lindsays to get their shillelaghs at the ready.
We'll kick their
and I'm
ass.
sure you Crawfords, because you are the Crawfords, you have them ready already.
You already
don't
have
to
shillelaghs.
Exactly.
You have like
yeah.
5 back there.
You got to get.
I do.
You got to
I-
get your accent together.
Yeah, we got to. Yeah.
yeah.
So people
Engine
always
battle
say
cry.
that to me. Like it's like a weird thing. Everyone's always like, "Where are you from? You've got an accent." And I tell them I'm from Westmoreland County. I grew up literally 30 to 40 minutes away from downtown.
You just articulate your words really
You
well.
have inflection. You have a nice inflection,
Yes.
which is a
He
radio
is an
thing.
articulator.
Yeah,
That's right.
And,
I suppose.
yeah, but in a city that's not known maybe for inflection, because we're going to go down there and do that.
Everything
Yeah.
just sort of.
But very few people actually talk that way in Pittsburgh. That's the thing. We all act like that's everybody, but most people don't. I mean, you have a little bit of an accent. Everybody has a little bit, but you get very few people who are really like, I gotta get down to the Giant Eagle and that. And, you don't have that strong Pittsburgh
that.
accent that really.
Your accents is so cool. I like that.
It's not that prevalent though. People act like it's everybody, but very few people.
No, but
do
you
speak that.
become sensitive to it to where when I lived out west in Vegas for 3 years, and I'm at the MGM Grand, there's 10,000 employees at the MGM Grand. So the men's locker room where you get dressed for your shift is massive. And I could hear a Pittsburgh accent 100 yards away at the other end of the
Wow.
locker room, and I go, "Where are you from?" And it's some poker dealer who's from New Canton, or he's from,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could hear it when you're away from it.
You hear that
It's
yin.
like,
Other
bang.
people, other people
yins are
notice
tall.
it. Like when even though I don't feel like I have much of a Pittsburgh accent, when I go away, other people who are from the area can
Absolutely.
pick up on it from me, even though I probably have a very minor Pittsburgh accent compared to many people.
I think you just get used to it.
I think every Pittsburgher has one or two words that they say.
Oh, I definitely have words that I use.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like-
I use more Pittsburgh words than I have a Pittsburgh accent.
Aw, Jennifer Herman said y'all just made my whole day.
Oh, that's
What, with the poop talk?
I have no idea, but
excellent.
Maybe she had one she just couldn't get through, and we helped ease things up.
Yeah, well,
All right.
So-
Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And the
Yeah.
day is young yet.
I'm
So if
just
this is
really
a highlight, it
excited.
can only get better, I
right,
think.
yeah.
right?
I was really hoping we would talk about poo today.
Yeah, I know you came loaded with information.
I did.
Such a great topic.
Well, let's since we're already running over, but that's okay because we're having a good time. But I do want to get the Hoodrat of the Week.
Yes.
Let's roll that music. Hoodrat of the Week music right here
You're gonna
on
love
River
this.
Talk.
I'm excited.
Got Amber and Mike here of the Cheerly Men. You're listening to River Talk. This is the River's Edge Radio Network with the Hoodrat of the Week.
Look, we came, we saw, he died. We came, we saw, he died.
Compliments of what should have been our president, Miss Hillary Clinton. I definitely love that laugh, man. That laugh never gets old. In case y'all ever come back and y'all hear this again, now you know that is the official theme of Hoodrat of the Week.
I really like it.
Ain't it?
I am into it.
It's very catchy. All right, our Hoodrat of the Week is a man from North Dakota who was shoplifting. He wheeled a shopping cart with stolen merchandise, $4,000 worth. And he tried to run out of the parking lot, and he was stopped. Not by security, not by police, not by a citizen, but by snow. Yes. Stopped by snow. Police say the 22-year-old Dustin Johnson filled up a cart with $4,000 worth of products at a Hobby Lobby store, which is like a craft store, this past Wednesday. And after the cart got stuck in the snow in the parking lot, it tipped over. And then, it tipped over. And then Johnson allegedly fled. He ran off. Police say that along with the merchandise, Johnson left behind his wallet, which contained his ID and his address.
Oh, look at that mugshot.
Fantastic.
And that is how they were able to catch
my
him.
God,
Look at that mugshot. That is a man who does not care. How do you fit $4,000 worth of anything into a grocery cart?
I know,
Especially
right?
from
Hobby
Hobby
if
Lobby.
you tell me he robbed like the Diamond Exchange, $4,000's one little diamond, but at Hobby Lobby, how much felt and hot glue
Really? What did
Right?
he need?
for $4,000?
Oh, no, you know what? He probably hit up the silk flowers, man.
I don't know
Yeah,
anything about
that shit's expensive.
I have never been to a craft store. What is the most expensive shit? Like if I walked into Michael's right now, what would be the most
fabric?
expensive shit?
I don't know.
Airplane
Fabric?
glue?
Okay.
Fabric is expensive. See, I don't craft because I fail at crafting.
Okay.
But from what I understand, I know silk flowers are really expensive, and paints like acrylic and oil paints are pretty expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, but
That makes sense.
How many of that can fit in a shopping cart? $4
That's a
grand.
lot.
And who
shit.
would think to steal from a craft store? I've heard so much.
Well, they probably thought
being-
because they're the big Christian organization that's always like fighting the courts. People thought, oh, they'll just forgive us. Forgiveness is divine, right?
Now they had to be clocking this dude from when he walked in the store. Look at him. This is not my mom. Is your craft store demographic?
Aficionado?
Yeah.
Demographic. This is who they're looking for. The 22-year-old. I'm not going to say he's a meth head because I don't know him.
Right.
But I look at that mugshot and I say, maybe
Perhaps.
there's some chemicals involved.
He may
Yeah.
have said perhaps to drugs.
He said perhaps.
Yeah, because here's what I find interesting, and this article was from the Associated Press. Now, okay, it tipped over, and then they said he ran off. He didn't have a car? Where was he going to take
Maybe
this shit?
he was going to his car.
I guess, but they said he ran off, not drove off. He just ran off, and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, maybe they didn't have any camera footage of him running to his car to
Oh, they
drive
have
off or
cameras.
something.
And this was in
But-
North Dakota?
Yeah.
So you gotta expect snow in North Dakota in January.
Right?
It's not like it.
Yeah, he really
Can't
did.
catch you by surprise.
He really didn't think this through.
That's North Dakota is. I can't believe it's not Canada.
Right.
That's all it is.
I love it.
I have a question though. Is there like a black market for craft supplies? Is that like? Are there like little blue hairs like rolling up to a van like?
Maybe
buying-
he's
Right, like
You know-
knitting needles and yarn and fabric and all kinds of shit.
knitting
like, what's he-
needles.
Well, we
Yeah.
mentioned
that is probably expensive,
we mentioned
too.
the bloody semen earlier in the show. Maybe he's trying to embody Pirate Joe. There's this guy. He's a legitimate thing. Pirate Joe is this guy in Canada. You mentioned Canada. And his job is basically there's no Trader Joe's in Canada. They haven't moved into Canada.
Okay.
But everybody in Canada loves Trader Joe's food. So this guy, you've heard of him.
I've heard
Yes.
of this guy. Yeah, he goes to like Minneapolis or somewhere right across the border.
The border. And he smuggles Trader
Yeah, dude.
Yes. He smuggles Trader Joe's into Canada, and that was his business. So then Trader Joe's banned him from the store. So he started going down into the United States incognito, wearing disguises so he could get through Trader Joe's and buy all of this food and resell it in Canada. And then
That's
he started,
commitment, man.
He
That
started
is commitment.
He
Have you had
started
the cookie butter?
I haven't.
The
no.
what?
The cookie butter?
What is that?
What
It's
is
like
that?
peanut butter made from cookies, and only Trader Joe
Wow.
has it. They take cookies and puree the hell out of them, and oh my god!
Damn,
yeah.
that sounds good.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
now
I'm
I
getting
have
fatter
it.
just talking about it.
It's incredible. So like this guy, yeah, he smuggles it up, and then he started recruiting other people to help him. Like
Mules.
younger guys, yeah,
Cookie
mules.
mules.
He would go in with him, and the two of them would. And there was this whole podcast. It's called Startup. It's a Gimlet podcast. It's about starting a business, and they were talking about his business. He no longer does it, I believe. I think he stopped, but
gotta
it was
get out
going
of the
on.
game.
Yeah, it was going on for a while, and he
hot.
had all these recruits, and she actually went on with a microphone. It must have been undercover, but she actually went out on a Trader Joe's run with the guy. So maybe this guy's trying to embody this dude, and he's trying to
Maybe.
sell. What was it like? Hobby Lobby? Maybe he's trying to sell Hobby Lobby to.
High-end Christian craft goods
Yeah.
to the discerning Canadian black market knitter.
Yeah.
That'll be Ocean's.
black market
we'll
knitter.
get George Clooney and the boys on the phone. Ocean's 13 just wrote itself.
Wait, what do you think these disguises look like, though? That's what I want to know. Like,
I think he'd
how-
wear like wigs and wear like different clothes and hats, and he would actually make several runs in the same store too. So he would actually have multiple disguises in his van. He would go into the store, bring food out, change clothes, change disguises, go back into the store, pick a different cashier. So he would hit up the same store 2 or 3 times.
That is a committed man.
But if
I
he's
wish I
gonna
had
spend-
that type of time.
If
That
he's
was
going to spend thousands and thousands of dollars, why does Trader Joe give a shit?
I
What is
know,
Joe
they
doing?
don't-
Who's Joe to be like, no, you can't take that to your brother.
Right, if he bought
in the
it.
Great White
Well, he's
North.
probably
If
marking
he's
it
paying
up.
but if he's paying retail for it in the States, like when I had
And they
the
don't
butcher
sell
shop,
it there.
When I had the butcher shop, if you want to come and buy a steak, I don't give a shit what you do with that steak once you take it out of there. Hopefully
Right.
you cook it properly and enjoy it. But really, if you want to go throw it at somebody, that's your business.
You know,
Right.
I bought many steaks from you, and I threw them all
I know you.
Just threw them all at my husband, just right in his face.
Well, that's fair. I mean,
If you cook the steak, you could throw it at my face because I would love to eat a steak.
as a retailer, I
Yes.
don't give a shit what you do with it when you get it out of here. You know what I mean? That's not my responsibility. So if I'm Trader Joe and I'm in a border town in Moose Knuckle, Saskatchewan, or across the river from there, and
Did you just say moose knuckle?
yeah, I did.
What the hell's a moose knuckle?
Whoa.
It's like
wait.
a camel toe, just
For
bigger.
a dude.
Oh, okay.
Well, I thought that was a dude's camel.
No, that's the mammal toe.
Mammal.
Mammal toe.
Where you hike your pants
But
up.
that is like the culture nowadays. Like
I gotta
everybody,
get my turn.
everybody wants to control what you do with everything that you buy. It's
That's
like they
right.
don't want you to actually own anything anymore, and it's kind of bullshit. You know, if I buy something, if I buy this phone and I don't want a damn update, then I don't want a damn update.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be forced to get it.
I agree.
shouldn't be forced to do whatever on it. It's kind of like, that's one thing I don't like about Apple. So I do have an iPad, so I'm not anti-Apple, but I don't like the fact that they treat you like a baby and you can only download the apps that they want you to add. If
Yeah.
I want to download the app and I want to get a virus on my machine, well, that's my problem, right?
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more.
But Pirate Joe was employing people.
Right?
And how do you put that on your resume? I'm a cookie mule. I get delicious little frozen
that-
pesto cubes and I smuggle them across the border.
I think that would go under soft skills. You
He's
know?
creating jobs, though.
He is, yeah.
And he's
a job
servicing a
creator.
need. He identified a need.
I
in
ain't mad
Canada.
at him.
He serviced that need, and now he's like an urban legend. Listen, this dude is. I mean, what's he done now? What do you do if you're a Canadian?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Thousandaire fugitive.
But that was like one of my
Thousandaire.
that was one of my favorite occupations that they unveiled on that show. It was amazing. They just did a series where they just picked a different person each week, and that was one of the businesses that they featured, and it was fantastic. I'm like, man, that's
incredible.
That's a job, yeah.
So this guy, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around this. He's in North Dakota. Mm-hmm. He stole a bunch of shit from $4,000 worth of craft supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Cashmere.
And rammed his buggy into a snowdrift. Like, did he hit ice? Like, what?
They just said snow.
They just
Buggy.
said snow.
There's your
Hit
Pittsburgh
snow.
accent
He was
right
foiled.
there. It's a buggy.
It was probably
buggy.
solid snow. Maybe.
Yeah, but you gotta know it's there. It didn't dump 8 feet of
wasn't
snow
like
while you were in the store.
Stealing your high-end craft supplies.
You gotta know it was there.
Yeah, I mean,
You gotta do
you see
three
the
things.
snow, you move the cart away from it. Like
And I bet you this bastard went to the bathroom and didn't wash his hands before he stole it all.
And he
Sounds
probably
yeah,
took
he
a
has
dump
real
in the
sentiment.
urinal.
He took a dump in the urinal.
which
dumped
means
it.
that most of that shit they can't even sell it anyway. They got to throw it away.
Yeah, right.
They got to
All
burn
the
it.
yarn is
Poopy hands.
Poop
He
yarn.
didn't wash his hands.
Poop yarn now 50% off.
Yeah, right. What am I talking about? They gonna burn or throw away the shit. They're just gonna clearance it.
Fact.
Here's some brown knit needles. They were white in the beginning.
So tonight,
This took a
8
very
p.m.
dark turn.
I love it.
right here. Oh, actually, we should get into that. So that's a whole another whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about, and I guess I really should mention this. So like, whenever you have that, like, we were talking about the bathrooms, and then we'll roll in and wrap up the show. But we were talking about the bathrooms and how like the people who sleep in the bathroom and they let that odor fester. I've always felt, and I don't know what you guys think. I always feel like that odor, when you breathe it in, it seeps into your lungs and it rots your body from the inside out. Is that something that you would agree with?
I think you could get COPD from that shit.
Yeah,
You need some poopery.
I believe wholeheartedly in rebranding, and not as a marketing term, but as if someone's bowel smells so bad, the rebranding period is how long it takes for yours to overtake it to where, because everybody likes their own. Well, can
Wait,
tolerate.
okay,
their own.
no. Why don't you finish that thought, Ray?
Everyone can
I don't-
tolerate their own brand.
I don't like my own. I don't
don't like
I don't
your-
like smelling any.
You're
no.
one of the only people that. But
Mine
you can,
smells like roses.
But you can sit in your own
I'm lying.
way easier than you can sit in somebody else's. So that's the rebranding phase, is where it takes for your feces aroma to take over the previous occupant or the guy next door, and then it becomes a contest. But we don't got to get into that. You just. How long, what's that period before yours takes over and you go, okay, at least I'm not in the 7th circle of hell anymore. I've moved up 1 or 2. It's no good. Pooping in public is never good.
Disagree with you. I first of all,
I am not one to pickle in my own spices, as it were.
I have never thought this far.
I know we're really.
Oh, people try to
We're
say
like
that.
we're talking about teabagging poop.
We're really, we're really getting deep down in these important issues.
It is it's a crisis in our modern
It
day.
is. It is.
But it's something that needed to be addressed, I guess.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Government shutdown? Who gives a shit? Let's talk about the real issue.
That's right.
The real
I
shit.
dig it. They're
Oh
really
man,
quite
that is a
literal.
good tagline right there.
I just
love
never
it. Real
thought
shit.
of like competitively pooping. Like I've never thought like, oh, I need to brand this commode.
It's not a competition. Well,
Well, it is. You just said
is.
it was.
No, but it's more. Let me overpower. It's nesting. It's peeing on a tree higher than the last dog peed on there.
I did one time play Battleship because I saw that one time on Harold and Kumar,
Yeah.
and it was just funny to me. You ever hear
Oh, it
of
was the hot British
Battleship?
girls that were
No.
doing it.
Yeah, it's kind of like
Terrible.
Battleship. You're basically you're shit next to each other, and then you got to make like the loudest, grossest shit. Like ooh, you sank my destroyer with that one. You know, like that.
Do you think it's possible to kill yourself by flooding your lungs with the smell of other people's feces?
I mean, if it was just methane, yeah, but I don't. I mean, you'd have to be in an awfully. The toilet to square footage ratio would have to be really.
But I mean, what if you're there
But I
like
hate-
all
I hate
day?
to
Like, what if
smoke a
you're like one of
cigarette
those?
in there.
What if you're like one of
Hate to
those?
light a match.
What if you're like one of those bathroom attendants? It's kind of like secondhand smoke, only it's like secondhand like poop like smell.
But do those guys exist outside of strip clubs anymore? Or do you ever see a bathroom attendant anywhere but a strip joint?
Wait, I have a question.
Dance clubs.
Okay.
This is really important. Have you guys heard the story about the poop knife?
No, what's that?
No, but I'm
Oh,
intrigued.
All right,
Oh, the poop
all right.
knife.
So
Do
listen.
tell.
All right, so my husband is literally in Mensa. He's also a member of the band, and apparently in the Mensa Facebook group, this is what they talk about. There is this story that a fella was raised in a family where they just dropped enormous logs, and so they had what they called a machete.
Machete. Okay.
Okay, so you take your centrally located machete, if you will, and you gotta chop that shit up, and so it goes down into the toilet. And so apparently this guy grows up and thinks that everybody has one of these just chilling in their bath. It's like you've got your toilet brush, you've got your plunger, and your machete. And so the story goes he's at a party some night. And he's in the bathroom and he drops a massive log and he's screaming through the bathroom. We've all had that moment where like you're out of toilet paper or something like that. And that's,
I call it a code brown.
dude, that is a humiliating
a
experience.
code brown, dude. It's the worst.
Awful. And so he's hollering through the door. He's, bro, I need you to come here. And it's the guy who's hosting the party comes over. He said, I need your machete. I need your poop knife. But what this fellow in the bathroom does not know is that the music has stopped in the party and everybody is listening to him
Wow.
beg for a machete. Right? No, you type it in. You type it in. Fact check that shit. All right?
That's crazy.
So since we're talking about poop, I thought I want to know what you guys think. Do y'all have a machete?
I don't, but I have used ass wipes before. I do
those
like
are
ass
nice.
wipes. Yeah.
Do you like the just the nice clean feeling?
I do. I've thought about getting a bidet.
Ooh.
Actually,
Bidets are nice.
yeah, they seem nice. Yeah,
Bidets are nice. When I was in Europe, man, you get used to it.
He's looking up machete.
No, I'm just typing it in so that we.
yeah. I've thought about getting the bidet so that way it could like squirt me in the ass and get like a real nice clean.
It's an interesting sensation the first couple of times.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's not a bad thing.
Thank you.
But it's coffee or whiskey. It's an acquired taste. You're never gonna sit down in a bidet for the first time and go, well, that's just what I needed.
Yeah, right.
But don't they also like blow dry your ass too? Some
The
of
new
them?
ones,
Yeah.
yeah, the Japanese
Yeah.
like
Wow.
smart toilets, they're all over the place.
Wow, that's
With
really
heated
nice.
seats and the thing. Oh yeah.
Wow,
I
that's.
mean, they take it to the next level. It's
Do you
the
have a
next level
machete?
shit.
Do you
No,
have
I
a
don't have
machete?
I don't have a poop knife. But
Have you ever had to cut up your poop?
with a coat hanger once?
You have.
I took
Okay.
a wire coat hanger
All
out
right.
of the closet.
Factual.
Okay, somebody that you know, Lauren, says Rado for president.
Oh yes, that's one of my dear Lauren. She's a friend through the Beard Club, the Steel City Beard Mustaches.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that
you
big national group moved to Pittsburgh, right? The Bearded Society or something.
the American
national.
Mustache Institute.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
founded by my friend / nemesis, Dr. Adam Paul Cosgrove, who lives over in Mount Washington with his long-suffering wife and beautiful son. He's the founder, and he's sponsored by Remington of the American Mustache Institute, and it's a Hall of Fame every year. They give out the Goulet Award to the mustached American who has achieved prominence throughout the years. Obviously, Tom Selleck's and your Wilford Brimleys and Salvador Dali's and such. So they operate that. But Lauren from SCBMC, the Steel City Beard Mustache Club, had these pins made, unbeknownst to me, where I'd competed in a freestyle beard where I had my beard in the shape of a starfish. So it was down here, and it was spiked out here, and it was spiked up here.
I still wish you'd do that for a show.
And I had a big samurai man bun top knot on the top of my head because my hair's like down to here. So I looked absurd.
Badass,
I looked ridiculous, and they have a pro photographer who does all the shots.
That's amazing.
After you compete, unbeknownst to me, her and Kristen Wagner, another girl from the club, went and took that photo and had hundreds of Rado for President buttons made up.
That's amazing.
And I didn't know they existed until I was at the 52nd Street Market in Lawrenceville, and I saw a basket of them on the counter that said "Take one." I went, "What the? That's fucking me!" Like, what the?
That's
So
great.
Lauren has been my campaign manager from day one. We're running on a platform of tits and whiskey, and that's
Ooh,
it.
okay.
That's the whole thing. Tits
That's
and whiskey
amazing.
and don't
I like
get
That's the
it.
life. I love it.
I'd vote for you.
So thanks, Lauren.
So don't forget, we're going to wrap things up here because we are reaching the hour-and-a-half mark, which is
Wow,
it's great.
this
So
has been so much fun.
So-
Right, we've been having so much fun. This is
it has been fun, yeah.
Had no idea.
So, like, you think about this, like, we pretty much go straight, well, we do go straight through. So if this was traditional radio, that would have been about 2.5 hours, almost
Wow.
a 3-hour show.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's good stuff here. But I do want to remind you, if you're listening, and you're listening now, you enjoy what we're doing, you're having fun, it's a great time, know that your service has not been throttled yet, but it's on its way. Because of the rescinding of the net neutrality rules, well, there are several people who are fighting back. Our Attorney General here in Pennsylvania has joined many other states to file a lawsuit against the federal government to try to get those rules back and reinstated to protect a free and open internet. And there are other groups which are filing, independent groups which are filing lawsuits as well. Groups like the Center for Media Justice. And tomorrow morning, so you go here at 8 o'clock tonight, watch the cheerlead at the Fun House at Mr. Small's, and then tomorrow morning, head down to Ham Bones in Lawrenceville, where they are having the acoustic brunch. It starts at 10:30 in the morning. I'm going to be hosting the event, and we will be accepting donations for the Center for Media Justice in their fight for net neutrality to basically stop evil radio conglomerates from paying a lot of money to shut down organizations like ours, or to, like, let's just say you have Comcast and you want to go to Verizon, and Comcast is going to slow the speeds to Verizon's website. You don't want stuff like that. You want access to the internet. You want freedom of speech. And people are saying, oh, government regulation. Well, I don't know that I trust Comcast any more than the government, but
I left Comcast.
you love Comcast.
No, I left.
Oh, you left
I left
Comcast,
them.
yeah. So I am.
Verizon Fios.
Yeah.
Nobody loves Comcast.
So I am inviting all of you out tomorrow morning. It's important to me, it's important to this network, and it's important to you if you're a fan of not alternative facts, because we don't like alternative facts, but alternative options in your entertainment mediums. So please come out 10:30 tomorrow morning, but also 8 p.m. tonight at the Funhouse at Mr. Smalls. One more plug from you guys. Why should people come out?
I think it's probably the most fun that you'll have at a live show. I really do. And I don't say that, I mean, I'm biased, obviously, but I think because we have so many different voices on stage, it's really interesting. And it's never the same show twice. So you could come see us tonight and then come see us again at Mr. Small's on St. Patrick's Day.
Nice.
And it'll be a totally different show. I do want to plug the band real quick, though, if I have just a few minutes
Yeah,
to
of
give
course.
shout-outs. I mentioned earlier our music director is Jamie Grant. She's our cellist. We have my husband, Michael Burek, who is our banjo player. Chris Clem is our mandolin player. We have J.T. Dubosky, who is also the editor-in-chief of Steal This Magazine, and he's our drummer, which has been tremendous fun.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
We have Aaron Anthony, who is running for Congress. He is actually trying to flip the 12th.
He's going to be on the show at some
Yes,
point talking
yes.
about it. So.
Yeah, so he's our one of our singers and our maritime historian. So he actually
Nice.
offers all the background on the songs, which is cool.
That is cool.
Zach Morgan.
Zach
on
Morgan on
acoustic
guitar. Yeah, and we've got Michael Motes on bass, who just joined us. So we're getting him up to speed. He'll be premiering at the March 17th show.
Okay, nice.
I feel like we're forgetting
Will,
some
my
people.
cousin
Oh
Will.
yeah, that's
Because you named like 5 people so far.
I know. No, there's so many. It's like it's tough to keep everybody straight. We have Will Condrich.
On the electric
On
lead
electric
slide
guitar.
Okay.
My cousin, he's a kid. He's a baby to me because I've seen him grow up. But he's so talented.
Yeah, he really is.
He played the show with Patrick Maloney in the Pump Fakes last
Yeah,
night.
yeah, I saw that.
He's fantastic.
What do you guys do? Again, what do you...
I am, as I realized last night, I'm the Flavor Flav of
He is
the
our
band.
Flavor
I'm
Flav.
the hype man. I'm the only one who doesn't play any instruments.
Let me hear a yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy!
Yep.
I'm the booze procurer. I sing. I do play instruments, but not with this band. I am.
You're whiskey jug tuner in chief.
Yeah, exactly. I do get. I will play acoustic guitar with this group as a very, very last resort when we have literally exhausted all our other options, band members, past, present, future.
Also, the
Drums.
only member to get so wasted at a show that he fell backwards into the drum set.
I can't confirm or deny that, but I have stopped drinking during the first set. No, my role is, I'm the guy who gets the free beer and makes sure everybody in the band is lubricated. I keep them drunk enough to keep me around. That's my
That's a
idea.
good role.
Because I'm not kidding when I say, when I walked into the first rehearsal with this group on Jupiter at
Yeah,
Wilson's
I remember.
place,
Oh man, it's so long ago now.
in the basement there in his little
Yeah.
musician suite, I was so intimidated and so overwhelmed because these guys are all fantastic musicians. Not like pretty good. Fantastic. They understand theory to a level that just is so far beyond me. Their pitch, their ability to improvise, their ability to just, like her husband Mike, and she's being modest, not only does he play the banjo left-handed, but he built his own theremin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He plays the guitar, he plays the drums, he plays anything he picks up. Ryan Maisel, a former member and one of
Yep.
the founding members, if it's got strings on it, he can play it.
Yeah.
So I walked in there with no instrument, and I'm going, oh my God. Not only are they all phenomenal singers, they're all phenomenal musicians. What the fuck am I doing here? Quick, get them beers so they don't realize you suck and throw you out of the band.
Rado is too modest. No, I think since you've joined the band, not only do you have that amazing stage presence, but he's got a hell of a voice. He's got one hell of a voice. So
Well, thank you.
You do.
But
You do.
I would say, going back to the original question, to why they should come and see us tonight.
Yeah.
For someone who hasn't seen us, the exact reasons that she said. It's a lot of fun. It's a really high energy show. It's 3 hours, so you're not. It can be your whole evening. You don't have to get there, see your favorite band for 45 minutes, and then move along to the next place.
Yeah.
It's a 3 hour set. It gets dirtier
That's
as the
crazy.
night goes on. For
We
those
do
of
get
you
a
who
little
haven't seen
dirty.
it gets filthier.
And that's exhausting, too. 3 hours is a long time to be
It
up
is.
on
It
stage.
And that's
It
why
is.
we have 5 singers. And
That's right.
We
Yeah.
could never pull this off if there was 1 or 2 singers
That's
in this
right.
band.
and everybody gets to take a break at certain points too.
Yeah.
So that
Everybody
makes
gets a
it
chance
nice.
to shine. That's what I like about this.
Yeah, that's the point, you know. So we all just sort of cover for each other.
Exactly. Yeah, and the set list is designed that way too, where people can go heavy and then
Yeah.
fade away into the background for a little
Right.
bit and relax and rest. And if you have seen us, the reason to come see us tonight is twofold. First of all, we do a lot of the traditional Scottish tunes on Burns Night that we don't normally do. So we'll
right.
have
Nice.
Auld Lang Syne. We do a lot of the dirty Scottish songs in our regular repertoire, but you're going to hear some stuff tonight that you'll only hear on Burns Night.
That's right.
And we're going to premiere a couple of new to us songs
Yes.
tonight,
Yes.
Including an old German tune called The Goddamn Dutch.
Which is an a cappella tune. Yeah, that's a fun one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So for those of you who've seen us, there's going to be new stuff, rare stuff,
Old stuff.
old stuff, and just a lot of fun. New members.
Boobs. There will be
Boobs.
boobs. We have our
Are you-
dancers tonight.
We have the dancing girls tonight. They'll do the traditional Scottish dancing with the big scimitar swords on their heads as they're dancing around in their bustiers and corsets. And are you going to corset up tonight?
I have I have something interesting on tap. You'll have to wait and see. I'm not gonna reveal too much.
Fair
I
enough.
always try to surprise folks with whatever I'm gonna wear. So,
Nice.
Okay.
but I have to be able to also play. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Be sure to check that out. It's 8 p.m. tonight. It's the Big Lang Syne right here at the Funhouse. We're looking at the door right now, so it's not far. You can look up at the studio while you go out outside in between songs. And then tomorrow morning, 10:30 in the morning at Hambones, we have the acoustic brunch, net neutrality style, where we will be doing whatever we can to try to raise money to fight for a free and open internet. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be a good time. So lots of good stuff this weekend. I'll try to be everywhere. That's always the goal. So
Yeah.
see how that works. So you can come meet me. I'll be hanging out, and it'll be a good time. It's good food, both places actually. But yeah, tomorrow morning we'll have good food, and it's for a good cause. So coming up for that. So Howie, do you have anything coming up? Not Howie. Jay. Howie's not here. So I miss Howie.
Howie's outside actually. We want everybody to go on our Facebook page, On Our Way with Howie and Jay. It's basically us riding around in the car, and we just talk shit, and we throw in soundtracks and everything. Brian has seen it. He loves it.
Yeah, it's a good show.
We're about 13 episodes in. We're going to keep it going. We might record one tonight. Who knows?
There we go.
But yeah, On Our Way with Howie and Jay on Facebook. Check that out. And also, me and Howie, we run our own weekly comedy open mic at the Hidden Pub in Oakland at Wood Street. So every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, if y'all want to come up and perform, sign up is at 8:30. Show starts at 9 o'clock.
All right, thank you to the Cheerleader for coming in
Thank
today.
you.
Be
Thanks
sure
for having us.
to check them out tonight at 8 p.m. I'll be at Hambones tomorrow at 10:30 for the acoustic brunch. We've got the open mic on Wednesday, and then I'll be back on air tomorrow morning, 7 p.m. We'll have Sadie Friend here in studio, Michael Cohen with me as well, so do not miss it. Scumbag Inc. was our intro exit music for the Cheerleader, for Jay Cooper, for the disappearing Howie D. Mack. I am Brian Crawford. This has been River Talk on Pittsburgh's voice for local music, The River's Edge. We've got local music up next, so do not change this station. See you tomorrow night, 7:30 on River's Edge PGH, 7 p.m. riversedgepgh.com/live.
Later, bitches.